Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Wow, what a big day we've got ahead. We've got a heap of news I want to get through. It is the weekend, so it's Friday. I just want to say a big thank you to all of the awesome subscribers that we have on the channel. We've had a few merch sales too, so that's pretty awesome. To whoever that was, thank you very much. It does help me, I guess, get some gear and stuff so we can do some more reviews and bits and pieces like that. Yeah, always awesome. Very kind of you. I much appreciate it. I do. That's very, very cool. The merch store is down below. If you do that, let me know if there's anything you would like in there or prints. I do have a fair few prints on there from some of the photos. So if there's something you would like out of one of the videos you've seen, just flick me a message on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, and I will probably preferably Instagram or YouTube or Twitter. I'll catch you there. I'm not on Facebook super much anymore because I'm not a big fan. It's very addy. Yeah, let me know, and I'll definitely. It's very easy to go get the photo and then set it up and put it as a print on Printful. So that's pretty cool. Also, I dropped a link down below too for Printful. Look, if you ever thought about doing merch, you've got an idea, you've got a sporting event coming up or going on a holiday, you want to have a bit of fun or a bit of a laugh, you can go basically design and print your own stuff no matter where you are. A lot of, especially for us people in Australia, it's a little bit tricky because it might be 20, 30 bucks overseas, but that turns into 40, 50. Then you got to add freight, which ends up 40, 50. Next minute it's $100 for a t-shirt. Actually works out that what way Printful works is that it basically, they set up the shops in each country and they get people there locally to do the producing of the products. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's why I'm trying to use it for my stuff. So it works pretty well. So if you've got an idea like that, I'll hit you a link down below. It's an affiliate link. I don't really get much. I don't think I'm anticipating too much, but it will help me out anyway. It helps the channel, but it might give you a chance to do something you've been thinking about doing for a while, like a baby shower or anything like that, where you want to customize it, and it sounds out of reach. Well, actually nowadays it's pretty easy to just do custom stuff for one-off things and pieces, or you always wanted to set up a store and have a crack at creating something. Well, if you're locked down in Victoria and you're trying to do stuff like that, well, this is a good time to sit down in front of a computer and set up your own store. It actually setting up that Printful, it was super easy. Connecting it to my Squarespace and that, I think I've got it right now, but I did have some trouble to start with. It's connected it to our website, but yeah, we're getting there, slowly. But yeah, thank you to those, and yeah, grab yourself some merch. Yeah, cool. Rightio, I'll get straight into this. It's a big show. Photos going really well for the new video. Yesterday after work, I got a fair few done before I passed out. I'm going to attack a heap more today. I'd say hopefully by the weekend, I've got 150 I've got to go through and play with. I've done about 30 or 40 of those, so I'm not even halfway, so there's a fair bit there. This is Bluff Knoll. It's a big one. It's another bucket list location. One of the highest peaks in WA. It was a gorgeous day. There's clouds coming through the hilltops. I've got a heap of those photos. They look really good. I'm still walking up the mountain. I'm still getting those photos sorted. But yeah, heaps there. Happy. It's going really well. So looking good. And yeah, let's get into this news. There's a ton of fun stuff. Now, where do I start? Let's go from the top. Amazon. Was the biggest online shopping company on the planet. There's another one now. I can't remember the name of them. I actually haven't used them, but I did see a report about it last week. I think someone mentioned it. Well, Amazon, obviously, USA has become a cannabis-friendly country. They make billions of dollars a year out of tax. Australia, we're still persecuted over it. People get thrown in jail for it, and we're very archaic here in Australia in a lot of our rules. Some occasions, I guess it's good. That's one of the rules I don't agree with. Whether you do agree with it or not agree with it, that's the beauty about being human. We're all different. So it's good to have different ideas and opportunities. It's one of those ones that, yeah, I guess eventually it'll happen because the greedy people will go, we can make a shit ton of money out of this, and then they'll bribe the right people in government, then they'll finally let it happen. But in America, it's pretty much going. They've currently got a bill in I think it's the Senate or the federal parliament, or whatever they call it there, federal government, that they want to make it federally legal. So it's no more crime, no more people getting locked up for possession and any of that silly stuff. And they've had, I think one bloke had like 20 years in jail for possession of it. So it's just crazy, some of the stories I've read about. It's very sad. Like, imagine in 20 years for some cannabis. It's crazy. Anyway, so Amazon is now basically, they're actually supporting that initiative for it to go legal federally, which is huge. They're the biggest employer in America. And they've also basically thrown out the book. There's no more testing. They're not doing any more cannabis tests. Obviously, if you have an accident and you're driving a bus or a delivery van, you still can't do that and be off your trolley while you're driving that. You've got to be sensible about it. But if you've done something on the weekend, you're no longer going to lose your job on the Monday, which is what it's all about. And that's fantastic. Good to see them being part of the future with a lot of other countries. Unfortunately, we live in the future here with their time zones, but we definitely live in the past with some of the rules. So good to see Amazon. Good work. On the thumbnail, you will see the Rhino see-through. It's not, I think it's called a hive or something, or to me it looks like just like a tent. It's basically something Lou Later was talking about the other day, and I had a quick went over and had a look at it because I went, holy crap, that's pretty cool. And it's probably a bit of naivety from me. There's probably some hunters out there that have seen these and probably used these for a long time. It's brilliant. It uses a special mesh. Basically, from the inside, you can look out and see through the mesh, and it's clear. You can see fully clear, see everything going around at the tent. But from the outside of the tent, it just looks like camouflage. It's actually insane. You won't understand it until you believe it. If you did have a quick look at the thumbnail, if not, go over and check this out. I think for photography wise, if you're shooting birds or anything like that, this is a must. If you're going on a hike or something like that, perfect tent to set up and set in a location where there might be birds or in the area or animals or anything like that. You can set this up in the area, be comfortable, safe, have your swag out and everything like that, and get your shots done and have a beautiful vista of wherever you're staying and not ruin the view by having to be stuck in a tent. Very, very cool. 66 inches tall, so about 167 meters tall, so a little bit about that, yay. So it's not the biggest tent in the world, and it's only weighs 8 kilos, so it's not too light. $250 US, and that's really cheap for quality bit of kit and the technology in that. It's pretty. Some smart people out there. That is brilliant. And again, go check out the website. It's from Rhino. You just put that in, Rhino see-through tent. You'll get it. It's all over the web at the moment. Very, very cool. And I thought that was a good one for just camping. And if you imagine going to the Rocky Mountains or to Tasmania or something, and you've got this beautiful mountain, and you're top of this mountain, it's amazing view. And then you go to, it's freezing cold, so you're in a tent, so you can't see nothing all night. Imagine being in this. You can have the same tent being cuddled up in your swag or your sleeping bag, and you can look through the tent and see this amazing view. That, I think, is brilliant. As much as it's a great tool for hunting, I think as an outdoor tent, I think, or even for some events or photography, it has a lot of other uses. For $250, that's probably about $350 Australian. Same as a decent tent. This is a pretty cool thing. Go check it out. Excuse me. Yeah, that's about it. I was going to say that. Cool. LeBron. LeBron James, very famous basketballer. I'm sure everyone that's listening has heard of LeBron James. Superstar. Has a deal with Beats by Dre. I've got a set. I've got just a solo wireless. They're actually really good sound out of them, and heaps of battery life. So I'm really happy with that. I've got a good deal on eBay on those, $90 from $300 in the shop. So thank you, eBay. Well, he was spotted with a brand new unreleased set of buds. May or may not have been a bit of a setup. It was all over the web this week. But some photos have come out of the actual full units now from Beats, and there's a lot of speculation that obviously Apple owns Beats. They bought that off Dr. Dre and Erskine, I think it is. I can't get the other guy's name, for $3 billion. It was $1.5 billion for Dr. Dre. He was a nice little earner for him. So yeah, these buds basically they stick straight in the ear, and they've got the soft tip so they can plump in. There's no stem coming out. There's none of that. They going to be out pretty darn soon for Beats, but the new Apple Pro wireless buds that there's been a lot of talk about. Obviously, the technology in these Beats are going to be something similar to go in the Apple. The Apple is going to be the next price level up over these. So whatever these are, we'll be able to get a good idea of where the Apple ones are going to go. But that technology, I don't think it's going to be the ultimate in here, but I think you're going to get like a decent amount, and then the Apple ones should be the next level up. So it's a good little bit of a, I guess, vision into the future, and gives everyone a bit of an idea of what's coming from Apple. So they look really, really good, but they've also got some competition we're going to talk about at the back end of this from Sony. But Lebron, bit of a leak in an Instagram post. It blew up, and there's a lot of talk from Apple on that. Now, Samsung had a video on YouTube last night about their new sensor for their phones. It's using the Isocell GN2 image sensor. It's a new sensor. It's got some new tricky little tricks in it. It's basically a 50 megapixel sensor, and it takes, every time you take a photo, it uses 3 red RGB photos of 350s, merges them together to get one 100 megapixel clear, great color image. So it's some really good technology in there. Dual pixel autofocus for the video. So it's taking that Canon dual pixel technology and putting it into a phone, which is pretty darn amazing. Obviously Apple, Samsung, it's always backwards and forwards. I use mine for video now, which is fantastic. Pretty sure the focus is pretty darn good on this as well with it. But getting dual pixel autofocus, imagine that being able to lock onto someone's eye if they use that same sort of technology. Heads and animals and cars now with the R3, we're talking about that. So that dual pixel is going to let Samsung get into that same sort of alleyway as Canon and to that level, I think. So look, that's going to mean a lot of good things for a lot of people that use their Samsungs as video tools. So look, that's going to be super cool. Now it uses a special high ISO technique as well. So basically, if you use this mode, it'll take one at a high ISO, so you get that low light performance, and it'll take one at low ISO, so you get a bit more of the light. It'll merge them together and then clean up, so your night images, and that should be a lot cleaner. So that low light performance in your phones, a lot better with this one. I know with the 12 Pro, my main lens and the 2x lens are really good. The wide angle's pretty average. That's set to get better in the iPhone 13. They're upgrading that lens to I think a 1.6 aperture. I think it's like a 2.4 or something now. But the 1.6 in this is really, really good. So, and you get that sensor in there. The images are going to get better and better and better. So that's pretty cool as well. It does bracketing HDR as well, 8K video, and look, it's basically out there for those mobile devices. So we'll see this new Isocell GN2 in the new phones this year. There's some good technology in there. There's going to be a lot there for photographers and mobile video creators, and something to look forward to. Loki, if you're a fan of the Marvel Universe, Loki, new trailer. He's got his own TV show now, Disney Plus. That's the only downside. Now that Disney owns Marvel, you have to go and buy another friggin' subscription to another channel. You end up paying your whole wage in subscriptions just so you can watch TV. But anyway, it looks really, really good. It's a bit of a weird one from the trailer I watched on it. It's got Owen Wilson in it, so he's pretty good. He's on this time traveling sort of department that Loki starts to go. They ask him to go and work for him. They're traveling in and out of time and fixing time holes and stuff that Loki's stuffed up. It looks a bit of fun. It looks like it's still got a little bit of that fun, sort of not too serious sort of DC dark side sort of characters. It's a little got that Marvel, a little bit of humor in it, and a little bit of fun. And obviously the guy, he's now forgotten the gentleman that plays Loki. He does a great job, and he's really, really suited to the role. So that series, I think, is going to go gangbusters. Go check that out. Huawei. Huawei P50 series has gone nuts on the internet in the last couple of days. Preview, they announced their new Harmony OS. Obviously, they're banned in America from doing anything hardware and stuff like that. So Google can't work with them. Obviously, Apple's not going to work with them. So they've got all this great hardware and no software, no OS. So they've gone out to have to create their own, and it's called Harmony. They did the big release yesterday, and look, they're going to put it out. They're bringing it out in their new P40 Mate, their new MateBook Pro, their little iPad copy. Their watches are all going to have it, and this new they also dropped out the new P50. Which looks pretty killer. It's got a really, really pronounced camera bump, and it's got 2 circles. You'll see it on the thumbnail. I've chucked up there. Go check it out anywhere on the web. It's all over the web. But huge, big lens covers and 2 circles above each other. Totally different to the current ones that we've got out there. The lenses, if you look closely, under those, they're basically lens covers, but it just basically more, I don't know if it's aesthetic or it's got some sort of purpose to protect the lenses, but their lenses are still under there, smaller, but because the bump's so big, there's rumors of it having possibly that first 1-inch sensor in a mobile. That was a couple of rumors thrown around for that. It looks pretty sharp, and it's going to be, I guess, a test when these first phones come out with this new Harmony OS, how it works, because obviously they don't have any assistance from Google. It's going to be based loosely on Android, but it can't have any of the Google services attached to it. So it's going to be a big step for them. If they can make it work, well, that's going to be the 3rd big player in the OS system. So you'll have an Apple operating, you'll have an Android, Google systems, and then we're looking at down the barrel of a Harmony system. So big news, and this phone is going to be one of the ones that's going to be pretty cool. Now, it does have a lot of, there's a few things around giving you a bit of stuff. It's going to be a 6.3-inch screen, 50 megapixel, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Under-screen fingerprints are all the current rumors out for that one. But I think the one that the looks of it, it looks really sharp. It's got that real Samsung feel to it, with that long back camera. Samsung uses, well, this is sort of long, but then too pronounced. So it's got that. To me, it felt a lot like a top-tier Samsung phone. Excuse me. A bit choked up. There's a lot to talk about. Now, YouTube channel, I want to shout out to Concepts iPhone YouTube channel. Go check them out. They did a render of a possible iPhone 14. Now, I've been saying for a while, excuse me, my apologies. I've been saying for a while how good it would be to have on the back of the phone a TV screen. So, like, as I'm shooting, I have no idea if I'm in the screen, if my head's in the screen or anything. It could be a total disaster and have to record it again. You can sort of test it and record, then delete that and then go back and just all that sort of stuff. But if you had it there, it would be so easy. You could just move the tripod back, set up. You can vlog with it. Especially vlogging on the run, you can see exactly everything, see what's in the background. So that would be super cool. Now, I think it's good. A lot of people, actually, I thought it was strange because these guys have done a fantastic render, and it basically takes that same Apple little square bump and then puts the screen across to the outside that matches that, and then comes around under it to make one big square. The beauty of it is, then currently you got the phone with the camera bump on one side, so then when you lay it flat on the table, if you're not using a cover or holy hell, if you're not using a phone cover to protect your phone, it's going to sort of be on a tilt. It's going to go off kilter. But if you had that other square on the back of the phone where you've got a screen, it's going to be level, isn't it? It's still going to be tilted, but it's going to be level. It's not going to be rocking. So then you're going to get damage to that camera bump. So I think that just for that alone is a good idea. But having the screen on the back, whether you go right down underneath it like they've shown, it's a pretty big screen and an L-shaped, but it did offer a couple of little funky things. So you could have the screen up there, and then you could get notifications and stuff there. You could use that for face unlock when you're taking photos, and then have a fingerprint for the other side, so you wouldn't need the notch at the top. I think it offers Apple a lot of great options to do things that people have wanted. There's been so much bad juju about getting rid of the stupid notch, and to me it doesn't matter. I've never really been concerned. I don't think it's an issue, but people get very worked up about this notch. I'm not a big fan of the fingerprints because normally when you're working, you're covered in oil, grease and crap. It's not going to pick it up anyway, or you've got gloves on, so fingerprints are a pain in the butt just as much as a face mask is for face unlock. So you're never going to keep anyone happy. But if you had a screen on the other side, you could turn that round and put the face unlock on the rear of it, and then you could pick your phone up, and if you wanted the face unlock, you could go that way, or this way you could have a fingerprint reader, and then you'd cover both barrels of it. So I think it's good. It's a beautiful render. Even the colours and everything he's done. He's gone to a lot of trouble, the channel. So yeah, Concepts iPhone is the YouTube channel. Go there. They've got a lot of different videos, but go check out the iPhone 14 one. It looks pretty darn special. Now, last but not least, a big leak. A Dutch over in Holland. Sony, their new ad for their new noise-cancelling in-ear buds, the WF-1000 XM4s. Sony definitely up there. It's sort of Bose used to be the kings, then Sony come. Apple sort of, with their buds, probably their pro ones are really good, but the Sony ones for quality and noise cancelling, they're basically the best, and they're actually a little bit cheaper than the Apple versions. Well, they've got now a bud style because everyone's going bud style, like Beats and the Apple ones we talked about earlier. Well, look, they've released the whole video. We've got the specs. The specs have been coming out fairly regularly, but this basically is a whole ad for it, so it just confirms, locks in everything. So I'll just quickly go through the specs and then we'll talk about it. Releasing on June the 8th, so day after WWDC goes. It's got a V1 processor, 2 microphones, obviously for external noise and internal to balance it out. It's running high-res audio. You can speak to chat. So if you're listening to something, you can have it set up and someone comes over to and you're on the bus or something. Can I sit down here, mate? You go, yeah, mate, no worries. It'll cut out the music. It'll pause it while you're talking to someone. That's good. But I did also think with that, I'm wondering how you set that up, because what if you're in your room and you've got them in and you're having to sing to yourself? I do it. Is it going to constantly cut your music in and out? So I'm not sure exactly how that. I'm sure they've thought about that for us wannabe singers that are terrible and have a crappy old voice like mine. But speak to chat, that's there. It's got a auto pause feature when it's doing other stuff. So it obviously can hear people with the microphone, so it'll pause and do stuff like that. Using bone conduction. It's got auto adaptive sounds, 3 different modes for that: travel, walk, and move. It's got favorite sound settings, so you can adjust all your sound levels and volume, so you can set those up as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. Beamforming tech for the phone call, so they're saying you're going to get crystal clear talk when you're chatting on the phone with your buds in, so that was cool. Google Voice Assistant, they reckon that's the best one. Siri's pretty average. I do have to admit that. Siri's just a nightmare, especially if you've got a watch on. You'll be talking away and then suddenly Siri pops out of your phone, your watch, trying to ask you something. You're like, I didn't even ask you. You don't even have to say Siri with my watch half the time. Wireless charger on it as well. Runs ambient noise. It's IPX4 waterproof, they're saying. 8 hours of battery, 24 hours with the case, and a 5-minute charge will get you 60 minutes of extra audio. So that's pretty cool. And it's going to have Sony's 360 audio. Now, they brought that out, I think about 2 years ago, 360 audio. And it's something that Apple's trying to do now, and with their, I can't remember what they call it, but I know the 360 audio because I remember watching Sarah Dici at the big tech show, and she was explaining it, and it basically places, they get the songs from the artists, and they basically can set it up in the track. So if the drummers are there and they want something over here, they can set it all up so it puts the music around you, and when you turn, it changes. So just say the drummer was over there and you turn this way, well, now you hear the drummer in this ear, but you don't hear it in that ear, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like a Apple's spatial audio, exactly the same preface. Sony was doing it a couple of years ago. They're very good with their sound, with their audio listening. Not good with their microphones, but good with their to listen with. But yeah, so something similar to that, and now you're going to get that with your buds. So, and then from the people I've watched and listened to sort of review it, they said it's pretty freaky. And I think Lou later did on Unbox Therapy, the Apple one, and it's sort of a little bit confronting when you first start listening to it, but I think it's something you get used to and go, wow, it's sort of drags you into the experience of the audio. So that's pretty cool. And to get them in the buds, pretty cool. Now, Sony, generally they're not too overpriced. We don't have a price on it as yet, but even the current the over-ear headphones like the Beats, they're only like $300. They're like 150, $200 cheaper than the other ones like your Bose's and your Apples. So they're already well priced. They do a good price for their headphones. So I don't imagine these being ridiculously priced. The AirPods Pro will be. So these will be definitely cheaper and probably be just as good, if not better, like the current ones are. So yeah, that's about it. What a show. That's heaps. Have a fantastic weekend. I've got a heap of editing to do. I will see you all again on Monday. Stay safe. Thanks for dropping by. If you haven't already subscribed, smash that subscribe. Hook up a thumb down. Do a thumbs up, thumbs down. Get that love. Share some love all around. If you're in lockdown somewhere on this beautiful big planet, thinking of you. Hope it's not too bad. Plenty of shows coming out on Netflix. Those things at least are coming out a bit more to give a chance to those people that are locked up. No fun. Rightio, I will see you all soon. Take it easy. Thanks for dropping by. Peace.